this team has a tendency to shit the bed against like Chicago, and then when their back's against the wall facing adversity, they got two guys out and their third string goalie, and they're on a back-to-back, and then they pull out one of their best games of the season.
I'll put the finger on the leadership group, Rosie, and say that when you go into a situation against a lower opponent, that's when your stars have to pull the rest of the team up. There's something wrong in terms of your prep or where you are mentally to play teams of a lesser caliber. And I think it's a maturity.
To me, it's still surreal talking about it like 3 months after the fact that, like, dude, just don't say anything. Don't do any weird shit. And you're going to coach again in the NHL. And he couldn't even make it to the first game of the season and effectively just ruined the year for Columbus. Like they've been dreadful. They're 9-16-5, 23 point. Like it's such a weird story, but it's very Mike Babcock.
But at least Johnny Gaudreau gets to be closer to his mama.
I'm just spitballing. A name that keeps coming to my mind is the guy who actually pumped the wheels off Nikki Cousins the other day, Eric Goodbranson.
I mean, I haven't heard that name, but we do know that the Columbus Blue Jackets are interested in doing something. And we've heard the names, the consistent ones like Andrew Peak or Boquist. Those names have been out there. Goodbranson is the type of player that Brad Treliving absolutely likes. I don't think it's just one piece in Toronto. And I think you guys would agree with that. When I look at that blue line, aside from Morgan Rielly, who's playing lights out right now, it feels like that blue line needs some serious attention, if not an overhaul, to compete with the best of the best.
David Savard in Montreal on the blue line, with the fact that Klingberg's salary is now off the books at 4.1. Those are the type of guys that the Leafs need.
There was a good amount of discussion between Calgary and Toronto on both those guys, on Zadorov and Chris Tanev. Well, why couldn't you do the same thing with the Philadelphia Flyers with Nick Seeler and Sean Walker?
We went to New York City, and my dad's never been there. I wasn't playing the next day against the Rangers, so me and Dad just went down to like the meatpacking district, I think, and we were just pub after pub, checking out these little hole-in-the-wall bars, having a blast. I'm like 24. I'm, getting to know my dad, and we're rubbing shoulders, doing this cool thing, and ended up getting pretty blasted, just trying all these different craft beers and whatnot. Woke up and was like, good Lord, and was planning out what I was going to do with them that day before the game, and tap on the shoulder that said Grabowski's wife went into labor and that you're playing tonight. And I just looked over at Dad, and he was just like, you better go get a nap. And I think I fought Brandon Pross center ice at Madison Square Garden that night.
Hill is in the lineup because Grabowski went home.
Seeing Marner's old man too, like
what was that?
That was insane. And like Marner just made a hell of a play too. Like Marner makes that play to get it up to the point, and he's just sitting there like stone cold. Like that is like that typical terrible hockey dad. Like, oh my God, I know he didn't have the best game, but like, come on, man, just enjoy it. He's made his money there. Just have fun with it. It's crazy.
Stone cold face. There's 6.4 seconds left on the clock. The Leafs have tied the game. And then you look at the box score, and Marner's not on it, picking up an assist, and there's your answer, I think. I don't want to speculate, but I don't know how you react to that in that type of moment. I really don't. John Tavares, I thought it was phenomenal. The setting, the theatrics, the dad strip, so his dad Joe's in the building, the way he gets his 1,000th point on Morgan Rielly's goal and the celebration, everybody coming from the bench. I know there's going to be those naysayers with anything that happens in any walk of life, but this guy is an elite company. 98th player, Huts, in NHL history to hit 1,000 points. That is nothing to sneeze at.
No, that's crazy when you say it out loud, right? You think of how many guys have come through this league to last as long as he has, let alone get that many points, is so impressive. And then to do it against the Islanders is awesome. Obviously, a bit of a hangover losing the game right away after. But in that sense, just the celebration, the style it went down in. And I love the pureness of Rielly gets that goal and he's like celebrating. Then he realizes that it went off, that he gets the assist on, and the boys are just, he's waving the bench on. And it's just, it's so fun to be a part of.
When I got the call about Toronto was in the, in the mix a little bit, I obviously wanted to hear farther on the subject. And we just got the deal done. Sometime in the afternoon, and I was ecstatic. I actually, to be honest with you, I was living on the lake up north by Detroit Lakes, Minnesota, by Fargo-Moorhead. That's where we lived in the summertime. And I remember when I signed, it was a cooler day in Minnesota that day. And I had a pair of jeans on, a shirt on, and a sweatshirt on, and I had socks on. And after I signed, like, you know, the family's all hugging and whatever. And I ran straight for the dock and jumped off the dock and screamed, yeah.
When the puck gets below the goal line, for me, it's just, so we play in RVH where we're down on our post. We use the post for leverage. He just has this like lazy technique to him. Like even the first goal Nelson scores, he's sitting, Palmieri has the puck and it's on his backhand on the wall. And he's sitting down in the RVH just for no reason. Just sitting there, like, stand up, get your feet, like, find the puck. And then he ends up, the puck goes in and he's like, well, how are you supposed to see it if you're just sitting there staring at the guy's ass? Like, you have to compete. In the NHL, there's no space. This isn't Europe. Like, you need to find the puck. Majority of the time when the puck's in the D zone, you're like competing to find the puck.